Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's been a little while. I'm obviously very busy, but I wanted to stop in real briefly and show kind of a concept that I've been working on for a while. If you've been following any of the other stuff that I've been doing on Discord, through Twitch, maybe Twitter a little bit primarily, you may know I'm currently working on a project of basically making a build guide now for each class, similar to what I did with the Cold build, where it's going to be designed for primarily for new players, for people to have an easy entry into a league starter or an SSF build that can also scale into the end game. And as part of that, I've been looking again at Cold. I don't actually think I posted any update on YouTube yet, and it's primarily, like I said, because I just literally have not had time to do any of this. But about a month ago, we overhauled the build into a Wintertide brand clearing version. It was significantly faster. It was a big speed upgrade from the Creeping Frost Vol Cold Snap version. It has its issues. It lost a tiny bit of boss damage. It felt fine overall, but I was still kind of not totally thrilled with the the end final result for Trade League. So what I've done is I've been working on kind of a new level to this, and I've come up with something that I think is pretty cool. It's in a very rough state, and the reason I'm making this is actually to kind of test it out. We're gonna see how it works together. I just finished. I've spent about. I migrated all my characters from SSF into Trade League so that when I am ready to test the builds for each class, I have a fresh start in SSF that I can do that from. So I migrated everything to Trade League, and then I proceeded to spend everything I've earned in Trade League in SSF, just basically testing out a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of rough. I literally spent everything I made over the last month in SSF almost in one day. But I have something that I think works pretty well, and we're going to put it to a decent test right now, because I have a 10-way boss fight for Lear Arthane. So we're going to run this and see how it works. But just to introduce a tiny bit of basically the concept, Wintertide brand got me thinking a lot about clear speed, and I've managed to really significantly upgrade the clear speed yet again by actually running it now into a Spellslinger version. So I was originally thinking about Spellslinging Wintertide brand. Where I ended up is something a little bit different that you'll see in just a second. But the main points I want to highlight here is there's only one Spellslinger setup, and it's actually a Frostbolt 4-link. It's currently not dealing very much damage because part of what I want to just give a little caveat to is the fact that a lot of this gear is thrown together just to make it functional. I have the Shavs. I don't know Prism Guardian, no Aegis Aurora. But yeah, the Frostbolt's being slung in a 4-link with faster proj and just energy leech, just trying to keep up a little bit more sustain. You can see we've got discipline, we've got determination, we got clarity, and we have hatred. It's actually just a little bit more DPS than malevolence, and that's primarily because we're doing some hit-based stuff now, which is kind of exciting. So I had the thought of potentially using Frostbolt as a mechanism to turn Vortex into the clearing skill. So Vortex right now, what I've ended up doing with this is basically making it a combination of like a clear skill and kind of corpse removal and frenzy charge generator. So basically control destruction for the damage, and then over here Ice Bite and Hypothermia are kind of pulling double duty to get a higher chance to freeze, and then Ice Bite's also generating frenzy charges, so that helps us go a lot faster. I subbed out a Sulfur Flask for a Silver Flash to go even faster, and it's actually felt really good so far. This is going to be kind of the first big single target test. A lot of the gems, a lot of the things are under leveled because I've been swapping in and out stuff all day. As far as enabling the Spellslinger, I have Kinetic Blast, faster attacks right now, and Pierce. You'll notice the faster attacks is very purposefully at level 3 with quality 20. You may have to play around with this a bit, but basically I want it to be the tiniest fraction slower attack speed than the Spellslinger cooldown, because I have a little bit of cooldown reduction on my belt. The Spellslinger cooldown's 0.54 seconds. Actually, it's covered up by my camera right now, so you can't see it, unfortunately, but it's 0.54 seconds. And the Kinetic Blast attack speed is 0.55. So it's literally 0.01 seconds slower than the cooldown on Frostbolt, which ends up working out really well. And then basically as you move, if you just drag a little bit, because Vortex is on left click, if you just drag a little bit back and forth as you move, your Vortex covers a huge portion of the screen for clear. For single target, we have gone all the way back to the OG, putting in a 6-link or 5-link, depending on what you're able to get your hands on, all the way back to Vol Cold Snap. This works insanely well. It's so good in Scourge, and because it's just going to be basically a single target setup, it's worked so well in this setup as well. There's a chance I may end up doing a Vortex thing here and something else in here, but for now, this has worked really well, and we're going to put it to the test. Like I said, a lot of the gem levels, including things like Discipline, including things like Hatred, and a lot of the Spellslinger-specific stuff is very underleveled. So I'm actually a little bit nervous. I do not know how this is going to go. It's worked really well so far. But I figured if I'm going to try this, let's record it and see how this goes. So I'm actually going to switch the camera down to the POE view, just because that's what I'm used to. But before I click on this button, basically, it's pretty simple. We run around with Vortex. You right-click for Kinetic Blast. We're running 1 Frozen Trail Jewel, so it's going to pop out a bunch of Frost Bolts. You're going to get a lot of area coverage with Vortex, and then, like I said, for single target, we'll be using Cold Snap. So it's a pretty simple concept. The way that I'm applying my curses right now, I have 2 curses, one each on actually curse on hit rings, which would be very easy to get in the Delve event. In general, they're not hard to roll. They may be hard to roll with good stats, but they're not that hard to get. So that's what I'm using at the moment. Yeah, let's see how this works, and I'm going to be putting together a POB because I do plan on running this in Endless Delve. It is looked really good in Endless Delve so far. I mean, as you're running down corridors, basically 100% of the floor is covered in vortexes, so it's been pretty nice. The one final piece that just occurred to me, the other caveat I want to say is I've spent 400 regrets testing out different gem setups, different skill setups, all these things today. Well, the last couple days. So this tree is super scuffed. I have low confidence in the tree, low confidence in the gem levels. But the main thing that I wanted to show is actually down here, because we're doing Curse on Hit Rings, and especially with the Endless Delve event, I took Profane Bloom. That's totally reasonable to take with how much we're throwing out area now and the Curse on Hit. So yeah, I took off Vile Bastion and back to Profane Bloom. So with that being said, I'm terrified to click this, but let's test this out. I think the DPS is going to be a bit on the low side to start, but we'll see. Definitely on the low side. Just trying to get some recovery going. Oof, those hurt. Oh, okay. It's definitely not, like I said, not super DPS currently. Barely have the gems kind of config. Oh! It would help if I didn't flame dash onto something that I should definitely be avoiding. But, yeah, let me just put these on real quick. Hop right back in, see if I can get back into this. Alright, so it's definitely not perfect, but as a proof of concept that is, again, I mean, it's so under-leveled with gems. Hatred's level 9 currently with a +1 from Global, so it's actually level 8. With gems like that, it's not that bad. I'm pretty happy with how it's been performing so far. I'm going to keep working on it, and I'm definitely planning on playing this in Endless Delve. So look out for a POB. I'll hopefully be able to post something, and hopefully an update video real soon. So yeah, it's good to be back making some YouTube stuff again. I will catch you guys in the Endless Delve event. I've been Shaq Central. See you next time.